So you can start talking whenever you want. Just scoot right in front of. There you go.
Social Studies, Unit 2, The Revolutionary Era, Chapter 5, Crisis in the Colonies, by Lily Wood, Grade 8. Section 1, The French and Indian War. After a conflict in the Ohio Valley, another conflict rose when England and France wanted the Native Americans' land. After this eventually ended, the French and Indian War broke out in 1754. The Ohio River Valley was again at the center of the dispute. A man named George Washington led 150 men into the Ohio country and launched a surprise attack on the French. Outnumbered by 700 French and Indians, the Virginians surrendered. The battle for Quebec was another battle that the British won. In 1763, Britain and France signed the Treaty of Paris, bringing the conflict to an end. Section 2, Turmoil over Taxation. After the British clashed with the Native Americans, Pontiac's War broke out but ended soon after. Because of this war, the British government issued the Proclamation of 1763, which drew an imaginary line along the crest of the Appalachian Mountains. This angered many colonists. Therefore, they ignored the proclamation. In 1764, the Sugar Act was passed, and in 1765, the Stamp Act was passed. Colonists protested the Stamp Act, so they signed petitions, boycotted British goods, and finally, in 1766, Parliament repealed the Stamp Act. In 1767, the Townshend Acts were passed and were protested by the colonists. This led to the Boston Massacre in 1770. Later, a committee of correspondence was formed by a man named Samuel Adams. Section 3, From Protest to Revolution. Because tea was very popular in the colonies, Parliament passed the Tea Act in 1773. To Parliament's surprise, colonists protested the Tea Act. At 10 p.m. on November 1773, the Boston Tea Party had begun.
Swishing and a splashing over the horizon, what can it be? The pilgrims sailed the sea to find a place to call their own. In their ship Mayflower, they hoped to find a better home. They finally knocked on Plymouth Rock, and someone said, "We're there." It may not look like home, but at this point I don't care. Oh, they were missing Mother England. They swore their loyalty until the very end. Anything you say, King, it's okay, King. You know it's kind of scary on your own. Gonna build a new land the way we planned. Could you help us run it till it's grown? They planted corn, you know. They built their houses one by one. And bit by bit they worked until the colonies were done. They looked around, yeah, up and down, and someone said, "Hooray! If the king could only see us now, he would be proud of us today." They knew that now they'd run their own land. But George III still vowed he'd rule them to the end. Anything I say, do it my way now. Anything I say, do it my way. Don't you get to feeling independent, 'cause I'm gonna force you to all day. He taxed their property, he didn't give them any choice. And back in England, he didn't give them any voice. That's called taxation without representation, and it's not fair. But when the colonies complained, the king said, "I don't care." He even has the nerve to tax our cup of tea. To put it kindly, King, we really don't agree. Gonna show you how we feel. We're gonna dump this tea and turn this harbor into the biggest cup of tea in history. They wanted no more Mother England. They knew the time had come for them to take command. It's very clear you're being unfair, King. No matter what you say, we won't obey. Gonna hold a revolution now, King, and we're gonna run it all away with no more king.
We're gonna elect
elected president.
No more king.
He's gonna do what the people want.
No more king.
We're gonna run things our way.
No more king.
Nobody's gonna tell us what to do. Rocking and a rolling, station and a splashing over the horizon. What can it be? Looks like it's going to be a free country.
The British then passed the Intolerable Acts because they were outraged by Boston's behavior. Parliament also passed the Quebec Act. After the First Continental Congress met in 1774, the delegates set up a militia. Shortly after, a midnight rider named Paul Revere shouted, "The British are coming, the British are coming," as he rode through Concord on his horse. At daybreak, the British reached Lexington. 70 Minutemen were waiting and were forced to leave by the British. Fighting went on after they left. This is known as the Battles of Lexington and Concord.